Okay, Brian, if you had to sum up our 2021 gardening efforts in one word, what would you say?
Decent?
Welcome to Crocs in the Kitchen.
I am Brian.
And I am Jessica. We are
Yes.
back with more gardening content, people.
I mean, yeah, I know it's really strange for us to be doing gardening content from our garden that we did in 2021, and it is now 2022. But, is what it is.
We learned a lot. We were just so busy and had a lot of crazy stuff happening when we actually were doing it, so we didn't get a chance to share it. But if you guys haven't seen, check out part 1 and part 2 of our gardening videos. We've been doing square foot gardening. We started in July last year in 2021 after we moved in with Brian's parents and actually had like some land to do a garden on because we had been living in a city downtown literally for 10 years with no space to grow anything.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a late start in the season because of that, because we had moved pretty late and we were already really behind. We had no idea what we were doing, but we did manage to build ourselves a nice little square foot garden. And then we showed you in the other videos how we built it and put it together and talked all about what square foot gardening actually is and all of that. Now, fast forward to March 2022, where we currently are, and we are going to do a little recap today of actually what ended up growing in our garden, what we were able to harvest in our garden last year. For those of you who just want like a little nice bow tied on our 2021 efforts.
Yeah, a lot of people ask what we actually got out of the
Yeah,
garden.
like, okay, great, you planted this whole thing, then what happened? So we're going to give you a little bit of a look at that. And then we're also going to be unboxing, unbagging these, because they're in a bag, these seeds that we are going to be planting in 2022 in our square foot garden. So you guys will get a little teaser of what is to come for our gardening efforts in 2022, which we are super excited and need to get a move on and start on because it's almost spring, people.
Yep,
it's coming. It's here. It's like 70 out there today.
Felt like it today, most certainly.
So if we want to start and go through our garden, how about if we start with the peppers?
Yes.
So we both love peppers, and we were really excited to plant some pepper plants. So what was the first kind of plant that we did?
So we did a several kinds of peppers out there. Like we did some hot ones, we did some bell peppers, we did a couple of other things too. So for the peppers that we had, we planted some called alter ego peppers. We also planted some jalapenos and a couple of other ones too. And basically the alter ego peppers just didn't take root. They just didn't grow at all.
They just stayed like they were. So because we had started so late in the season, we had you guys saw in our previous gardening video that we didn't grow anything from seed. We actually bought plants at different stores around town. And yeah, some of them just didn't take. And those alter ego peppers, like they each had one pepper on when they went in the ground and like nothing else happened.
Yep. So I ended up having to pull those out after a while just because they started to sort of slowly die. And
yeah, the jalapeno, we did get like 2 jalapenos, but they were pretty weak and it wasn't really that, like, it didn't turn out that well. I think your dad ended up eating one in a salad and was like, oh, that was a jalapeno.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Sounds about right.
But one of our pride and joy items from this garden was the green peppers.
Yeah, so our green pepper plant, it did not get very big at all, but it made 2 actual like great green peppers, and we ate them and they were delicious and everything. But the weird thing was we actually thought they were like a different color.
We thought it was supposed to be a red pepper plant.
Yeah.
And so we were confused, and then somebody's told me before, like, all peppers are pretty much the same, but they're just picked at different, I don't know. But when they were big and green and beautiful, we picked them and we ate them and they were really they were
delicious. Now the plant did actually produce 2 more, but it produced them right at the very, very end, and they only got about yay big. So they were tiny little baby peppers.
Pea-sized peppers.
Yeah, it was actually really funny though, because I walked out there and was just like, oh my goodness, there's 2 more green peppers growing on this little thing.
My favorite part of the peppers had to be the banana peppers.
Yes.
That little plant, which we bought at like Home Depot really late in the season, but it looked really great, and we were just like, this looks like an amazing plant. It just kept on. I mean, there were so many not green peppers, banana peppers.
Yeah,
Like there
banana
were
peppers.
so many that we just kept getting throughout the season, and it was great because I actually like to take these. You guys have seen this on some of our videos where we do salads. I like to take them and just literally slice them up using my food processor and then put in like straight vinegar and a little pinch of salt and just shake it up and let them sit in the fridge for a few days and then put them on salads and they turn out amazing. So
Yeah.
this is something we definitely do grow in the
I
future.
will I will say that one plant probably produced about 50
Oh
peppers
yeah,
total.
it was
Easily,
crazy.
easily.
Because right at the end of the season, when it was like a little bit too late, Brian went out there and he's like, "There's like 20 more peppers
Yeah.
growing,"
It
and
was still going.
it was crazy. So yeah, that is what happened with our peppers.
Yes. Now, let's get on to the herbs that we planted. As you guys know, I love herbs, and I was so excited to be growing some of my own. Now, we planted a bunch of different things, uh, and I will say this, that the mint, while very good, was very minty and everything. It grew like wildfire in its space, and it just
It tried
overtook
to
like
take
every
over.
space around it. I think I had to cut it back like twice or three times during the entire process, and it was so much of a hassle because it just grew so fast and just grew outwards that it became a real problem. And so I
Well,
don't think I'm going to grow mint again.
I should have known because like when I was growing up, we had this bay window at our house. You remember the
Hmm.
house that I grew up in? Under one of the bay windows in the backyard, we literally had mint and it just grew crazy, crazy, crazy amounts and it like kept spreading. So I probably should have known that. But when we bought the plant, it was like, yeah, mint's something that we use. That'll be good to have. I will say we did actually take some of it and blend it up in the food processor and then put it in like little ice cube trays in the freezer, and
Yep.
we still actually have a few, I think. And then they're good to just throw in like smoothies or anything that requires mint that you can just kind of thaw it out with some hot water, pour hot water over it, thaw it out and put it in stuff. So we were able to use it a little bit for that, but yeah, definitely not in a square foot garden next time because
Yeah.
it just wanted to take
Mm-mm.
over.
Now,
But
basil.
basil, oh, it's so beautiful. I love the
Yeah, so
basil.
the basil plants that I had in there both did really, really well. They just grew like crazy, and I was able to just go out there and pick off leaves and use them for stuff. And I mean, we made like the lasagna stew
Yeah.
with them, and a couple of other things too. And actually, there I'd love to grow a bit more this coming season, maybe, because it's just one of those things that like you can use it in a lot of different things. I didn't utilize it as much as I possibly could, but it was still one of those things where like if you've got fresh basil on hand, that's
Oh
just
yeah,
so
yeah.
nice. Now, I did grow some purple basil. Unfortunately, the purple basil got eaten by bugs or something like that, and it kept trying to grow, but then it would just get to a point, and then something would eat a bunch of it. So
The rosemary plant that you had, it looked really good going in and it stayed really good all season. The problem was we didn't really need fresh rosemary for anything.
yeah, and also the rosemary plant didn't really get bigger. It
Yeah,
got
it
a
just
little
kind
bit
of
bigger,
stayed.
but yeah.
But Brian, tell him what you did with it.
So I ended up taking the rosemary and I chopped off the roots because it was it's a very woody stem. Tied the root or the bits together that were there, and then hung them downstairs in our laundry room so they could dry out. And I did the same thing for the sage that we grew, and or the two different kinds of sage that I grew. And so those are both drying down there as are
I think
dried. They're dried,
think
yeah.
they're dry by now.
Yeah, but they're both downstairs, and
We'll have to figure out what to do with those.
yeah, but I've checked them out and everything. They look great. Like they're just hanging there, in
Yeah.
a dark room. So
So when it comes to the herbs, I think this season we need to think more about like what we actually use as far as fresh herbs in our cooking a lot. We use a lot of Italian parsley right now, basil, those kind of things, and
hmm
really make sure that we are planting things that we can utilize, not that just will like look pretty and that we might like, but actually that will utilize fresh, for fresh herbs.
yeah,
All right. Up next, we grew a ton of tomatoes, you guys. We had a ton, well, maybe not a ton of tomatoes themselves, but
we had a bunch of plants.
certainly had a plenty of tomato plants. But we don't really like tomatoes, so it was kind
Yeah,
of funny. But we ended up with all these tomato plants, and um, So we had too many to go in the square foot garden, so we put 4 of the plants in the square foot garden, and then we actually had these planters all around his parents' deck where we grew a bunch of other ones, and they were, it was actually easier to keep an eye on them because they were so much closer to the house. But his dad loves tomatoes, so he was able to use them all summer in his salads. I mean, some of the ones that it took a while for them to start growing in.
Yeah.
And then some of the ones that we had, especially the ones on the deck, they ended up like really cracked on the top, but they still functioned okay. But I think that's maybe too much water. Maybe they were getting too much rainwater or something like that.
Yeah, I don't quite know.
We'll have to do some research, but we're definitely going to scale back on the tomato plants this year just because we don't really use tomatoes a lot.
Yeah.
But
we got those plants for free. Really.
Yeah, a lot of them
so,
were. Yeah.
It was really like,
hey, let's see if we can make this grow.
Yeah, so we definitely are not going to have as many tomato plants this next time around. But I will say that the tomato plants that I had down in the actual square foot garden, one of them turned out pretty good and kept producing a bunch of little tiny, sun gold tomatoes, I think they were called.
Yes, the sun gold tomatoes actually did really well. We had some on the deck too, and they were like these little golden cherry tomatoes, and they were super beautiful and just like kept coming in throughout the season. And Brian's dad used a lot of them on his salads and stuff like that.
2 of the other plants didn't really do that great. They made tomatoes, but they didn't make a lot of tomatoes. And then one of them, like flat out, it grew, and then all of a sudden just started dying. And I'm not entirely sure what caused it. It started to just wilt and eventually die. And so I think that if I'm going to grow tomatoes, though, again, I'm definitely going to do them outside of the square foot garden area and just leave that area for other stuff that we want to grow. And if we're going to grow tomatoes, we'll probably do them in a pot like we did up on the deck this time. I still want to grow like a bunch of Roma tomatoes and make like a good giant batch of tomato sauce or something that we can freeze and keep on hand. So, yeah. And now, for the grand finale of the harvest. The greatest thing that we made out of the entire bunch, I say we, I mean nature did it, but the greatest thing that we got out of the entire bunch was a squash.
Well,
First off, though, we're going to tell you about the absolute and total, utter, abysmal failure of the other 3 squash plants that we grew.
The thing was, we planted 4 squash plants, and we only got 1 squash in the end, like 1 single squash.
Yeah, one single squash.
It was an amazing squash.
So 2 of the plants that I planted just flat out did not take. They didn't take root at all. They stayed yay big, and
they weren't looking too hot and when we put them in the ground, though.
And then one of them died like after a couple of weeks. It had like 1 little leaf, and it was hanging on, and it slowly got yellow, and then it slowly died. And it was so sad to watch. But the 2 of the plants just didn't thrive at all. Then we had a zucchini plant. Now this zucchini plant, it grew like crazy. It
like
was
the
just
plant itself,
all the leaves just
and
everywhere, and I was trying to get it to go where I wanted it to go, and it just was not doing what I wanted it to do.
So I did learn that there are 2, and we'll talk about this in future videos. There are 2 kinds of squash plants. There are ones that are more like bush type, and ones that can be vine type. So they will actually grow up. Like we tried to put the trellis in there and have them grow up on that trellis, but we also probably needed to guide the plant a little bit more before it got so big. And I don't think that zucchini plant was going to go on the trellis anyway. It was wanting to take over the whole garden.
Yeah, it wanted to spread out, and it was not wanting to grow up anything.
And they do say in the square foot gardening book, they do say that if you have a bush type, I think you're supposed to use 9 squares for 1 plant. So that makes total sense. But of course, when we were planting them, we're just it's fine. Let's just put 1 per square. It'll be fine. But the other one we had was sorry.
You didn't let me finish.
Oh my gosh.
The zucchini plant, it made a bunch of zucchini blossoms, and then
they're beautiful.
It made exactly 2 zucchini. One of them was about yay big, and it came really late in the season, and it never got any bigger.
Excited.
The other one got about yay big and about that big around. And then something ate it. We're not entirely sure what.
Like a bug of some sort.
Either
bugs. Skinned it. It ate the skin off.
And then it just fell apart. And I was so disappointed that it had happened. But I mean, it was still cool to see, but at the same time, like, we didn't get any zucchini out of the plant, even though it grew and took over a bunch of other spots in the
Yeah.
square foot garden.
Now
But
we talk
now,
about the other
but
one.
now, on to the big winner
This
of
is
the
like
entire bunch.
our award-winning squash, you guys. So we planted a sugar ready squash plant, which is a kind of hybrid of like similar to a spaghetti squash,
Yes.
but it's called sugar ready. And we planted this. We had no idea anything about this kind. It was just like, oh, it's like a spaghetti squash. Okay, I love spaghetti squash. Cool. So late in the season, all of a sudden, this thing it started making like little curly cues and
Mm-hmm.
crawling up not the trellis that we had, but the fence around
Yeah.
the outside. And we just saw this blossom, and then below the blossom, there's
Was
like
a
this little
tiny little bulb.
and we were like, "Is that the squash? Is that gonna happen?" Because I've never seen a squash grow before, and so it slowly just got bigger, and we were like, we just would go out there and check on it like every few days, and it started like kind of it ended up pretty decent size,
Yeah.
and
And it
it
has a
was
really cool pattern on the outside
yeah,
as well.
it was kind of hanging over like the edge of the fence, and so and nothing disturbed it or anything, and it was great. And so we let it go as long as possible till the end of the season, till like
Yeah.
into November, I think early November or something,
Yeah.
and then we
But
finally
even
picked it.
even that plant though was having problems with what I can
Yeah,
only assume was mildew. And I tried a couple different
powdery
treatments,
mildew.
powdery mildew, but I tried a couple different like at-home treatments, not like I didn't go out and buy like chemicals or anything. I just, like vinegar mixture and stuff like that they say to do it. And none of it really seemed to work. And so I was just amazed that the one squash like totally grew and made it. And then we finally picked it and we let it sit there for a little while. We never actually used it.
It sat there for a few months because we ended up like going on some trips, and we just whatever, and then we forgot about it. And then I was like, we should probably cook this. So one day we cooked it up, you guys, with a couple of spaghetti squash. So this photo you can see, look how beautiful. It's the one that has the stripes. You can see it against like a regular spaghetti squash, like just glistening and beautiful. We baked it up and we scooped it out and ate it with a really good tomato kind of sauce, and it was amazing.
Now, I will tell you this, as far as flavor goes, it has way more flavor than a spaghetti squash.
It's like nuttier.
Yeah, it just hands down was vastly superior to a
Yeah.
spaghetti squash. Obviously, it is smaller than a spaghetti squash, but it more than makes up for it
Yeah.
in flavor. If you get a chance to actually get your hands on a sugar ready squash, I absolutely encourage you to do so. It was phenomenal.
Yes. So that was our harvest for 2021. So it was kind of far and few between, but we did get a
Little
few
up,
things.
little down.
We learned a lot though, you guys, and we'll share that with you in future videos, and we're excited to get actually started in, March, April this year, and like get going and
Yep.
we're going to plant from seeds. Speaking of which,
Da-da-da-da.
so we ordered some seeds. Oh my gosh, we've had this package for several weeks and we haven't been able to open it because Brian's like, I want to do.
We want to open it
I want
on.
to open it
on the
on
video.
the camera. So we haven't opened this. So hopefully everything's in here. Should I do it?
Go for it.
Okay. So we ordered from this website. It's called Seeds and Such.
Seeds and such.
We literally just were like Googling. Actually, we were trying to find a sugar ready squash.
That is true.
Seeds. And so that's how we ended up with this actual thing. So we found their catalog online, like a PDF version. Oh my gosh, now we have a real version.
Yay!
And we were so excited, guys.
got stickers.
Oh, it's got stickers. We spent so long, like, looking through this catalog, like, hours.
But it was amazing.
Yes, we were super.
We had it up on the TV and we were just like, ooh, we can get that. Oh, we can get this. Oh, that looks amazing. How about we grow that one?
And then I realized that there are people out there who literally just wait for these catalogs to arrive, and they get super excited when they do. And I know why now, because there's so many, like, colorful things and all kinds of different options and
Yep.
everything. So we were pretty excited. So
many random things that just look amazing.
the other cool thing that they do is they send if you order, it's too late now, but if you ordered early in the season like we did, because we ordered these back in like February or January or something, you actually got 2 free packets of seeds with your order. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh.
So much fun stuff. All right, what are we starting with?
Okay. So these are the seed packets. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot more in there, right?
Oh yeah. There's a lot. Okay. So this one is the candy cane red pepper. It's the candy cane red pepper seeds. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited.
Yep.
What's that one? What does it say?
Golden cayenne peppers.
Oh yeah, I remember. Weren't you gonna try to make like a hot sauce out of that?
Yeah, golden hot sauce.
We got some. Uh, let's see. Oh, these are pimento.
Yeah, pimento peppers.
Pimento peppers. Yeah.
Yeah, we went a little crazy with the peppers, I remember. So
Yeah. Oh, so we got butter crunch lettuce.
yes.
We got these are our free ones.
Yep.
Tell them about our free ones.
So the free ones, obviously, they just sort of send. Did we get to pick these out?
No, they actually have 2 every season.
Yes,
and
that's
they
it.
rotate them. Like yeah.
So the first one on here is a tomato called Early Doll. I don't exactly know anything about it. We'll have to look it up.
Look in the catalog now, can't we?
And then the other one is lettuce. It's prize head lettuce.
So the Early Doll is one of our earliest tomatoes offered in our free seed program. Bright red, 4 to 5 ounce globe-shaped fruits combine outstanding tomato flavor with an early maturity every gardener will appreciate.
Yep.
So, excellent for salads, salsas, and slicing. And the prize head lettuce is an heirloom seed that is a popular non-heading loose leaf type known for its wide adaptability, vigorous productivity, and yet crisp yet sweet flavor. Wow, I really botched that. So yeah, I'm excited to grow some lettuce. We didn't get to grow lettuce this last time.
That is very true.
You want to go through these ones?
Yeah. So this one is quite thick. It's got a lot of stuff in there. These are sugar snap peas.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm totally looking forward to growing some peas this time around. I've heard that growing peas is one of the best things that you can do. Let's see, we got some hot sunset peppers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did go a little crazy on the peppers.
Sunrise sauce tomatoes. Apparently they're quite good for sauce making. I don't know.
Are they like orange or yellow? I forgot.
I don't remember, but I thought like the description sounded really, really good.
Yeah,
so.
they're these ones. They're kind of like orange.
Yeah.
Sunrise sauce.
And then these are basil. But it's Newton basil. So it's a specific kind of basil.
We got a lot of seeds, you guys.
We went a little crazy.
Oh, it's the sugar ready.
Yes. So here you go. Sugar ready squash right there. Hopefully that focuses in on it, right?
I'm so excited. This one is chives.
Ooh, nice. That'll be good.
Nutra-red carrots.
I do. Yes, these are carrots that are red. Like actual red carrots. And my first thought was, obviously, I'm going to make carrot hot dogs out of red carrots. Like, that's a no-brainer for me.
Ooh, this is another lettuce. I think it's like a green kind of iceberg lettuce, maybe.
Very nice.
So I'm super excited about that. And this one is a Hungarian yellow hot wax pepper.
Wow.
Wait, is that like...
Oh, yeah.
That's like banana peppers, right?
Yeah, it's like banana peppers, except slightly different.
All right, here you go.
Okay. Let's see this. Oh, Jericho lettuce. I remember seeing a picture of that, and that looked really cool. And so I was like, yeah, I want to get that. Let's see. We have black-seeded Simpson lettuce.
I don't remember ordering that.
I don't remember ordering that at all.
Maybe they just gave us some extra stuff. Wait, now I got to figure out what that is.
Okay, here's the rainbow gourmet carrots. So they all grow different colors and stuff. So like purple and whatever. Fun. And then finally, we have some Italian plain leaf parsley. Very nice.
That's what we need.
That's what we need now.
We use that a lot.
We're going through a lot of it.
This is the one that you wanted.
Yes. So these are stringless blue pole beans. I don't know why. I just really wanted some more beans and stuff to grow. So I was super stoked about that.
These are butternut squash.
Of course they are. Mm. Good old butternut squash.
Butternut squash. Okay, delicata squash.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this one.
Oh, so now when I saw this, it never even crossed my mind. Stevia. It is a stevia plant, as in the stuff that they make the little packets of stevia from. And so I don't know why, but when I found out that I could grow my own stevia plant, I was like, yeah, I want to totally mess around with that and see what I can actually get from it or what I can make from it or whatever it happens to be. Like, because, I'd rather, if I can have some form of sweetness in plant form that I can grow myself, I'm absolutely going to do that. Why not?
All right, you want to do the last 3?
I'll do the last 3. Okay, what do we got here? So we got some more zucchini. It's Raven zucchini, so I don't even remember what that is.
I don't know. This is why we have the catalog.
We have some King Arthur peppers.
Oh, what's a King Arthur pepper?
I don't know. And then the Flavor Burst pepper.
Oh.
Flavor Burst.
Flavor burst.
So as you can see,
I got a lot of seeds.
we bought a lot.
We went a little
Now,
crazy.
we obviously don't have just like we will have enough room to grow this in. I promise you that. It won't just be, my 2 little square foot gardens out there and a couple of other things that we grow stuff in. So obviously we got a late start in the season, and that just caused us to not have a lot of stuff to grow. But I am really, really looking forward to this next season of growing.
Yes.
But is that it?
I think so.
Okay, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click the bell that is right next to it so you get notified whenever we post a new video. You can also like and share this video. Send it out to all those other gardening people out there so they can laugh at us and our failures.
And comment below and let us know what you're planting in your garden this season.
Absolutely. You can find us on social media, mainly Facebook and Instagram, and you can message us on there, and we will gladly respond and chat and interact and whatever it happens to be. Hopefully, if we're not like super busy, that is. But I think that's all I got.
That's definitely all I got.
We will see you next time on Crocs in the Kitchen.
Bye.
Bye.
Seeds.
And such.